Hey everyone, how's it going today? This is Coach Cookie, your life and relationship coach. Just want to get on for a quick second and give my own personal tribute to Kevin Samuels and give you some ideas from some of the things Kevin Samuels talked about in regards to creating your own legacy. For those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Karen Sardis, aka Coach Cookie. I'm a life and relationship coach, and part of my ministry is dealing with narcissistic abuse or domestic violence. And for years, those are things that I went through. I was married to a pastor who was a narcissist and dealt with family members who were narcissists as well. God put this on my heart to start the ministry to try to help people heal their inner wounds from narcissistic abuse. So, thus in January 2021, I started my podcast, Rising Higher with Coach Cookie. Now that I've told you a little bit about that and a little bit about myself, let me tell you guys a little bit about me as far as social media. When I got ready to do this ministry, I was trying to do it in the body. I was trying to do it in the church. God was trying to really lead me into where I should really do it. And I was trying to find a space. All of a sudden I had a dream. Woke up, he told me, hey, social media. Knew nothing, absolutely nothing about social media. That was just nothing I knew anything about. Now, of course, I'm a little older, which doesn't really give me an excuse, but I was just never an electronic person, was not raised up on social media. I'm 57 years old, so I got up from that dream and I had to ask my son and my daughter-in-law, what is social media? And they told me, introduced me to Facebook and all this other stuff, right? So I'm getting into the relationship area of it, and I'm trying to learn different things that are going on Facebook, on YouTube, that type of thing. And so as I'm playing with it, my son and my daughter-in-law, they getting everything together for me to come out with this podcast in January of 2021. Before I actually came out with the podcast, I was doing some research on different relationships and looking up stuff about other coaches that were out there. And lo and behold, Kevin Samuels' name came up. And when I started looking up the information and everything on Kevin Samuels, these women were angry with him. It just seemed like every video I saw, these women were angry. And so I'm that kind of person where I like to dot my I's and cross my T's. So I just want to know what was the big thing, what was going on. I did my research, and I looked at all his videos. I looked at a lot of his videos. He had started his videos probably back in 2015 is when he first started doing his videos. I learned a lot about him. One of the things is that based on what I know about Kevin Samuels, he was married twice. He has one child. He was raised by a single parent. His mom, he didn't have very much contact with his father. He went to school. He went to college. He didn't graduate from college because he got sick. From there, he got into sales. And when he got into sales, he was doing sales with different little small companies, such as Home Depot, that type of thing. And then eventually he got his big break, and he was doing sales with corporate organizations, with corporate companies. He started doing sales. Y'all work with me a little bit here because, I'm kind of improvising a little bit, I'm paraphrasing. This is important because we need to know the story, the history of Kevin Samuels in order to really talk about Kevin Samuels. See, this is one of the things about me. Can't talk about nobody that you don't know anything about. That bothers me. We got these coaches out here who are saying you don't really know anything about them. Go back, look at the videos, do some history. I'm going to be able to bring it because I've done a lot of history, a lot of work on this before I actually started my podcast. So he got into sales, and he was working with little small companies, like I said, Home Depot. And then he got a break where he started doing sales on a corporate level. And what happened was that the people in the corporate level, they liked how he dressed. They liked how he behaved. They liked his mannerism. They liked how he presented himself. And they said, hey, before we go into this public meeting or this public, before we do this, what should we wear or what should we do? Or, how should we fix the office up? And he was good at that kind of stuff. And he showed them how to do it, how to get it together, how to present themselves, how the office should look, how the office should smell, or use this candle, put this cologne on. He was good at that stuff. He got so good to the point where he stopped doing sales and he became an image consultant. Okay, this is how the story goes. Go back, do your history. This is where the man came from. Okay, so he became an image consultant. Now, let me paint the picture for you guys really clearly, because he was an independent image consultant, which means like when I was in school, I graduated from college and I started teaching at level 5 penitentiary, and the inmates in the penitentiary would have me doing work for them. Like they would have me doing investigation type work for them that family members wouldn't do, and I was getting paid to do it. So I would go to now I did have a background in criminal law. That was my background. I had a background in criminal law and education. So that's what I got my degree in. And I would help these inmates out. And so in the process of me working with these inmates, with these attorneys, I got so good at doing it, the inmates' attorneys would say, when we finish this case, can you help me with some cases? Because I really need help. And so before long, I had several attorneys asking me to do investigation work on their cases. Thus, I became an independent contractor with various attorneys. Same kind of thing that happened with Kevin Samuels. He became an independent contractor for various companies that wanted his expertise on how to present their company. And that's what he became. And before I did the research on Kevin Samuels, I hadn't heard of an image consultant, but that was the title of his job, an image consultant. And he did it independently. Okay. So fast forward, he's showing these people how to present themselves at work, how to present themselves at a meeting. When they have a big meeting at the White House, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. This is the perfume. This is the cologne that you need to wear when you present. This is the new thing going on. This is the new shades. This is the new thing that's going on out there. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to fix the office up. I got you. We're going to do it. Fast forward in 2015. He started doing the same thing on his videos. Okay, everybody walk this walk with me for a few minutes. This is the big picture of Kevin Samuels. So in 2015, he started doing the image talk on video. Hey guys, this is the new thing that's going. He just did image consultant recommendations on his videos. This is the new cologne. These are the new shades. How y'all like these? How y'all think these look? This is the new outfit we got going on. This is the new, hey, let me do an image consulting thing for your son. Let me show you how they're supposed to look. Stop these kids from doing all these sagging and all this other stuff. So he did a collaboration with some people and did some stuff for the kids to teach them how to dress and that type of thing. Anybody that's familiar with Kevin Samuels will know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so time goes on, and so he's still doing the image consulting. And then what happens is that he's been working in this capacity for about 3 years now. I would say about 3 or 4 years, since at least we know from 2015 when the video started, when he first started doing the consulting on his videos. Then what happened was that somebody asked him and said, hey, I'm loving this. I'm loving what you're doing. By the way, where are the women at? I can't find a woman. I'm looking for a woman to settle down with, have a family with. Where are they at? And so he did a video, and he talked about in that video, he did a survey with his different people that he was working with, because there were a lot of questions about what they were looking for in a woman. And these men wanted to find a woman to settle down with, these corporate men. So he did a survey, and in the survey, these men told him what they were looking for. Okay? This is what I'm looking for. She has to be a certain weight. She has to be a certain size. She has to be submissive. She can't have no kids. This is what I'm looking for. Around 2018, I'm gonna say maybe 2019, maybe the beginning, between the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, he presented this information in his image consulting videos. And he says, hey, I just did a survey, and this is what the men are saying. They want a woman, and this is what they're looking for. Now, during that time period when he started doing those videos, he mentioned the Muslim woman that was saying that this is why. I really don't like to do the black and white conversation thing, but it was more of a focus on the Black community. So for the sake of this conversation of talking about Kevin Samuels, we're going to talk about the Black community. And the Muslims, I can't think of the woman's name, and she was on he talked about her on the video, and how the problem was that so many of our Black community were torn because these men can't find the women that they're looking for, is because the women have been for so long running the community, and the Black man was missing, and that there was this subconscious anger or frustration from the Black woman because the Black man had been missing in the community. And so when he started talking about that and why how damaged the Black woman was, and how these corporate men the Black corporate men couldn't find the women that they wanted because of the tear in the community, this is where all of the stirring up begun. This was the beginning of it. And then he had an image consultant. He had a life and relationship coach that came on that said, yeah, this is really true. You guys need to listen to this. And they came on together. I can't remember her name. Maybe we'll do that on another video or something, but I can't remember her name. And they talked about how there's so much damage in the Black community with the women not having the Black men for so long in the community, and they're missing. And that was one of the reasons why the Black woman couldn't find a man, because the roles had reversed, and it had gotten to the point where she had the masculine personality, and she got to the point where she felt like, oh, I don't need a man. So, so for so long, the Black woman has been running the community. She has been running her household. She has been outspoken. She's not submissive, and she's not kind-hearted when it comes to dealing with the Black man and what the Black man wants. So there was that gap. So when people heard Kevin Samuels speaking, the women got into their feelings. They got hurt because, they weren't used to someone keeping it real with them, because for so long, the Black woman was used to doing what she wanted to do, when she wanted to do it, how she wanted to do it. So when they came up with the scale of 1 to 10 and all these other things that these corporate men were looking for, they were not accepting of that. They could not accept that. They were hurt from that. They hurt their feelings. They were intimidated from that. And that just lets you know how far away that we are from the personal thing, how people would take it personal, and the Black women having this subconscious anger, and meaning that they probably had this low self-esteem, because that is no reason for you to be angry about what this man is saying. And so instead of women accepting that they have this inner hurt from running everything for so long, they lash back, they're angry, they don't want to hear anything that Kevin Samuels has to say. And there you have it with the anger and the frustration and the buildup. Because there was a day and there was a time where there was an example in the home. There was an example in the community with the Black man. Like I said, I'm 57 years old. When I was coming up, okay, I was raised up by a single mother. I was. But guess what? I had uncles that come in and they would set the record straight. You know what I'm saying? You would have those uncles that would come in and be like, girl, yeah, you fat. Yeah, you got them kids. No, that man don't want you. Yeah, in other words, they were the Kevin Samuels of the household. What you gonna do, what you're not gonna do. You can't have a man like that here. Don't eat all that. Listen, you never gonna find a man if you keep eating like you eating, because he ain't gonna be able to afford you. Whatever it is that they would come up with, that they were saying, you didn't want to hear it. But let's be truthful about it. Those were those uncles and them aunties that you didn't want to hear. You didn't want to hear anything that they had to say. But the truth of the matter is they were telling the truth. They were giving you what the truth was. So as you were raised up, like when I hear stuff like this from Kevin Samuels, I don't get upset. I don't get angry. It's because I can separate who I am. I know that I'm a queen. And then I can also separate it. And I know that I'm used to hearing stuff like this because this is how my uncles used to talk. This is how my brothers used to talk. This is how the pastors in the church used to talk. They used to tell you and they used to keep it real with you. And we've been separated from that. We're not hearing that anymore. We're missing that. We're missing that Black family structure for so long and the women are running it. So they're not used to hearing that anymore. It doesn't necessarily have to always be the man. It could be a woman. And for me, that woman would be my Aunt Fanny. Now, some of y'all got an auntie. For you men, you have an auntie. You know what I'm talking about? That one aunt that your sisters and everybody gonna call and be like, Aunt Fanny mad at you. And let me give you a heads up right now. She gonna call you, and she was that one auntie that I had that was gonna keep it real. No, you was wrong. You did that. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. What you coming crying to me for? You should have been there. You should have done that. You try to keep away from Aunt Fanny. You try to keep away from Uncle Nathan because you didn't want to hear what they had to say. But when they came with it and they came hard, they were going to keep it real. If you were raised like that, stuff like Kevin Samuels, when he says stuff like what he said, it doesn't faze you. You just dissect it, take what he's telling you. What is it that I can keep and what do I need to throw away? And that's how a strong Black woman is going to take it. What can I use from it? What can I use to grow from it? And whatever I don't need, let me just throw it in the trash can. But we missing that. We miss that. And we need to come back to that space and that time where we're strong enough where we can do that. Let me tell you guys something. I told you guys I'm 57 years old, right? My daughter's 35 years old. I'm just going to give you another story and keep it real for you. If my daughter came to me crying, saying that she was on a video with Kevin Samuels, and she was crying, and she got upset about something that Kevin Samuels said. She didn't like what he said, hurt her feelings. She said I was the size of a sumo wrestler player, and he said I was fat. He said I'm never gonna find a husband because I got these 2 kids, and he told me that I need to lose some weight, and he told me I need to listen. First of all, I just know my daughter not gonna come to me with anything like that, because she has been. Because I'm one of those kind of mothers where I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to come back to her and I'm going to keep it real. But like, what you coming at me crying for? You guys got to think about what you're doing. Why are you crying about what somebody has said about you? And when if you go take notes about what that person said, just like when I talked about Aunt Fanny and Uncle Nathan, these people are telling you the truth. It's true. It's just that you can't accept that. You're not strong enough, and you're not in a place where you're hurt from inner wounds and damage that you've had where you can't accept that. And if we keep walking around like that, you're going to still be in a space where you're not going to be able to be with a man. You got to express yourself. You got to communicate. You got to accept you got to look at some things, change a little bit. What is it that you need to change? If you need to get a little bit healthier, do that. What is it that you can take from that to teach your children? What can you take from that to teach your grandchild, your granddaughter, your daughters? You know what I'm saying? Use that energy, take that and create your own legacy and do something where you're doing something positive for the community. Whatever you don't need from what he taught or what he said, take it and throw it in the trash can. All of this stuff that people are talking about, he promoted fornication and talked about being with multiple men, and the enemy took him out of here, and we don't know him like that. You gotta stop doing that. We don't know him on a personal level to say anything personal about that man. He was fornicating, and he was doing alcohols and performance pills and all this other stuff. You can't do that. You all don't know that man on that level. Nobody out there knew him personally on that level. He did not present himself in that manner. He didn't talk in that manner. It's different if we're talking about somebody like Jada Pinkett Smith. She's been in the spotlight. She's abused her. She abused her children. She's controlling. She does everything. She's a public figure. Kevin Samuels wasn't public like that. So, I feel like that is not our place to say that the enemy took him out of here. He was doing things that were not of God. And then if you do that and he followed the things of the enemy, and then, he gonna take him out of here. We don't know his fruits. We got to know the fruit. We got to know the fruit of the Spirit. We did not know him well enough to know him as a man to know what kind of fruits he bared. We didn't know him like that. Now, Jada Pinkett, we know her a little bit better. We know what kind of fruit she bears because we've been following her for a long time in the public eye. Kevin Samuel wasn't in the public eye. Everyone is so quick to speak so negative about him and what he did, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing new under the sun. They did the same thing to Jesus. They didn't even look at, and he was perfect. But they still said that he was evil and was doing wrong. And it was blasphemy. Oh my God. Then they killed him. Everybody needs to do their research, and they need to do a little bit better, and they need to know what they're talking about. Take time to take what Kevin Samuel said and think about the positive things that he said. He was trying to get us to work as a generation. He was trying to get us to work as a people on what we need to do to heal and to deal with our generational inner wounds. Now, let me tell you something. We've talked about the crazy auntie and the crazy uncle, right? Kevin Samuels, he probably didn't have the charisma, or he didn't have the communication, the way to communicate to our people, that everybody was used to. Some of us were used to. If we were raised in that generation where we were used to people just telling us, keeping it real, we were okay with that. And we didn't have a problem with that. But for everybody that couldn't relate to that were hurt from that, I don't think that was his intention to really do that and hurt you in that manner. He was angry because he wanted you guys to get it, and he wanted to educate you on what it is that you actually need to do to better yourself and get you some help and deal with those generational inner wounds that you have. Don't focus on how he presented and how he delivered the message. We got them Pookies out there, the Ray Rays out there, the Uncle Nathan, the Aunt Fannies, the ones who are raw, that don't have the tact with it to know how to present it. Take that away from it. When you take all of the way they said it, the way your uncle and your auntie and all your friends, the way those raw people said it, you probably didn't want to hear it like that, right? But you knew what they were saying was true. That's how I want you to think of it when you're dealing with Kevin Samuels. Take away, don't focus on how the message was delivered to you. I want you to focus on what you can do with the message and how you need to deal with yourself and how you need to heal, how you need to deal with those generational inner wounds so that you can be able to live a healthy, productive life, whatever that may be. It doesn't necessarily. Now listen, let me do this. Let me say this too. I know he talked about the 1 to 10, and the 35, and if once you hit 35, that's the danger zone. Once you the 1 to 10, he is talking about the corporate America that he worked with. This is I think this is the part where he didn't have the patience, and he didn't have to say. He's not talking about everybody. He's not saying that everybody in the United States of America does not want a 35-year-old woman, and they don't want and you'll never find, a good quality corporate American man. He's not saying that. He's just saying this is the norm. This is what men are telling me. This is what men in the corporate arena are looking at. This is what they're telling me. And this is 90% of the men in corporate America. Listen, women, it does not mean that you can be in your 30s and you can't find you a good quality man. That's not what that means. Everybody get out of your feelings. That's not what that means. It just means that this is the norm in the corporate world and what the norm is looking for. Most men. It doesn't mean all men. It doesn't mean all men are looking for somebody skinny. It doesn't mean that all men are just looking for somebody that's 35. That does not include all men. Okay? Let's get that clear. That's just the corporate arena that he was working in. Let me give you a really good example. Sierra. She's not 35 when she got married, but she was 30 years old. Excuse me. She was 30 years old and she had a son. And she changed. You guys got to look at the picture. She was running around. She was out there. And she was thirsty and she was running. She was with I don't want to say thug arena, but she was in a whole different bracket and a whole different arena. She changed. She changed her mentality. She changed her thinking. Go back and look at some of the pictures of Sierra. Once she got married and got her mind together, it looked like two whole different people. But the point that I'm trying to make is that she had a child. She did it. Change your mentality, change your thinking, change who you want, change yourself into who you want to attract. She can't be with a man that is not for the streets if she's thinking like a woman in the streets. You can't think like that any longer. Okay? She became what she wanted to attract. You cannot actually attract someone that you want on a higher level if that's not how you're thinking, if that's not how your mentality is. You've got to put yourself in a position where you're going to attract what you really want. And that's what Kevin Samuels was talking about when he was talking about healing those intergenerational wounds. Sierra had to do some work. Trust me, that didn't happen overnight. She had to do some work and she had to come to the conclusion, I don't want to be messing with this rapper life gangster style any longer. I got to make some changes. And when she did that, she attracted what she wanted. What she became is what she attracted. Listen, you women out there, you got these men, and you be like, how come I can't find the right man and I can't do this? That's because of that. You're dealing with some inner scars, some inner wounds. And this is what Kevin Samuels was talking about in regards to moving higher, moving up, bettering yourself, bettering the community. And we've missed that in the Black community, and we need to get back to that. Again, create your own legacy. Yes, I'm going to say it again. It's time to heal. Deal with those generational inner wounds. Don't focus on how Kevin Samuels presented the message. It's time to get out of your feelings, y'all. Get out your feelings. Stop doing that. He talked about us. He made us feel so bad. He did this. He intimidated me. That is for weak-minded women who cannot think outside the box. I said it. Yeah, I'm on Fanny today. I'm going to let you know. No, that's what it is. Do whatever it is that you need to do, like Sierra did, to get out of that box. Become who you need to be in order to attract who you want. And don't only do it for you, do it for your daughters, do it for your granddaughters, because we've missed that in our community. We missed, and I understand right now why they called Kevin Samuels the Godfather, because we missed that in we don't see that anymore. He is saying things to people, what men have been wanting to tell women, they haven't been able to say it. And Kevin Samuels was the one who was able to step up and actually say and become what other men were scared to do. This is not the time to down that man. It's not the time to say, well, the enemy took him out. And I can't believe that there are life and relationship coaches that are actually saying that. That's not your place to say that. That is not your place to say that. Especially when you are, we didn't know him. Y'all didn't know him like that. Nobody knew him like that. Unless you his mama or his auntie or somebody. You don't know him like that. So anyway, do what it is that you need to do so you can live a healthy, productive life. If that includes a man, so be it. If it doesn't include a man, so be it. This is Coach Cookie, your life and relationship coach. If nobody's told you guys today, I love each and every one of you guys. I'm sending you all a big hug. Anybody that needs assistance, you may need one-on-one coaching, go to my website, risinghigherlife.com, to schedule a one-on-one consultation to see if you can benefit from one-on-one coaching. If you have a question that you'd like for me to answer, go to my email, heycoachcookie@gmail.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Now listen, all of my clients know if I'm going to answer your questions, I'm going to keep it raw and I'm going to bring it real. Okay? For all my listeners out there, I love you guys all. I'm praying for each and every one of you guys. Nobody's told you I love you all. Sending you a big hug. This is Coach Cookie. I'm reminding you guys to love yourself first as we rise higher together. Be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon.